All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Traverse Area Camera Club's general meeting. We do have our president here somewhere on my screen. I see him. Jerry, do you want to say anything to everybody before the meeting starts about what's going on at the club? Anything exciting that we talked about that may be of interest to the general membership?
Yes. First of all, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and hope everybody's doing well under the current circumstances. It's a little bit different this year, but we just concluded the last board meeting of 2020, and hopefully we're done with 2020. But there's a lot of good activity going on. And the interesting thing is that we're getting increased activity on our website, and everybody is still participating pretty well in most of the programs we have. So it's kind of exciting with the 2020 and the virus and shutdown and the close up and the gagging orders and all this other crap we got to put up with, is that the members are very active and they want to be involved in what's going on. So I encourage everybody. We thank everybody for their activities there. And we got some great stuff coming up in the first of the year. Andy's been good at getting some good people coming up to display for us and do some good shows. And Jay is working on the discussion groups with some great activities coming up. So the flu may be active and so are we. So let's keep going here. And we appreciate everybody and hang in there. And again, I say, have a Merry Christmas.
All right. Thank you, Jerry. So just for a little prequel or advance notice of what we're going to be talking about in the next couple of months. Tonight, of course, is the member showcase. We got a lot of great work that people have here, and I'll go over how I'm going to handle this year because it's a little different doing a Zoom meeting than it is doing it in person. So I'll cover that in just a second. January, I am absolutely thrilled, and I think you will too, about what that program's going to be. We are going to have Chris Roxbury. He's a diver here in northern Michigan. He does programs all around the area, and he's done some Zoom meetings. He's going to do one on underwater photography and some of the stuff that he's done here in the Great Lakes. If you have not seen his show, this is an absolutely amazing opportunity for the club to have this gentleman here and present. I'm really excited about it. I see Amy Howard is just jumping out of her chair. I've never seen so much enthusiasm in Amy as I did when she heard about we were going to have Chris Roxbury here. So it's an amazing program. You do not want to miss that. February is another interesting program. As photographers, we have an opportunity to do something that not everybody else does, and that's capture what's happening around us. And we're very lucky to have a member in our club. Actually, we're lucky to have several members in our club who have been doing an excellent job of documenting what's happened in a small town during a pandemic. And I got John Robert Williams to agree to do the February show, and he's been doing a really great job sharing things on Facebook about what he's documented, and he's going to put together a show for us that's going to knock your socks off about how a small town has handled the pandemic. In the event that he's not able to be here, because rumor has it he may be trying to travel, John Russell has offered to step up and do the same program. Completely different eye John has than John Robert Williams. So either way, the program in February is going to be amazing. You're not going to want to miss that one on how we as photographers can help capture memories about what's happening as we go through our day-to-day lives, and even the normal times, or in this case, a pandemic. So you're not going to want to miss either one of those programs. I do have 3 programs available, or 3 months available, March, April, and May. If you know anybody outside of the Grand Traverse County area that might be interested in doing a program as a photographer, please reach out to me. My email address is the second one I sent out, memoriesbyandy231. I forgot the 231, I'm sorry, at gmail.com. If you have somebody you'd like me to reach out to, or you know somebody and you have contact information, please send me an email if they do a great program. This is an opportunity through Zoom to have people who aren't stuck here in northern Michigan. We can reach outside of the state of Michigan and have them participate just like they were here in the room with us. All right. I have gone over all the details of the future and how tonight's meeting or presentation is going to go. I'm going to do it a little differently. I'm going to bring the image up onto the screen. I'm then going to invite the person who took the image to tell us a little bit briefly about it, including the title, because I didn't get that written down. So this is an opportunity for you to showcase your work and tell us how you got the picture, or why that picture means something to you, and why you presented it for us to see. We're going to start with our fearless leader, who may be here and may not be. I don't see the screen very well. Is Samantha here? Or did she put the babies to bed and we'll come back to her?
No, I'm here. Sorry.
Awesome.
All right. So this one, I believe I called it Point of View. I can't remember the titles, quite frankly. Yeah, that could be hung up. This is a allium that, as I always put it, my husband and I acquired for our 5th anniversary. I just thought it was really cool because the alliums, they were beautiful when they were in full bloom, but you never think to take pictures of flowers after their blooms have fallen. And I couldn't get over how beautiful these alliums were, even with, no petals on them virtually. And actually, this backdrop is my house. You just can't tell, thankfully, because my house is bright orange and blue. But I just really like the point of view of this picture, and I love how the allium just pops.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing this one. I when I opened the email from, like, wow, nice capture. I love how the background just disappears. All right, up next we have Jay Peterson. He was with us earlier. Do I see him today or this evening? Samantha, can you mute, please?
Yeah, sorry.
I don't see Jay. I haven't seen it. He's not unmuting and talking. The title is something about 5 miles to go, and I'm going to assume that has to do with the 5-mile trek across that beautiful bridge that at least I look forward to seeing every time I get up near the Straits. That's the gateway to heaven, as I call it. I think it's a beautiful capture of something I just absolutely love seeing. I wish Jay was in here. He was with us earlier.
Andy?
Sir.
Andy may, sir, Jay showed this picture, one similar to this before. He had just gotten his new lens, a fixed aperture lens from Canon, and he was testing it out. It's like a 600 millimeter lens, very small and compact, and how excellent it was. And he may have more if he shows it.
And if he comes in, I will try to remember to scroll back to this if he's got another backstory to this. Mary Picard.
Yeah, that's not from this winter yet, but it won't be long. I mean, I know they're up here. Interesting. This one here was actually taken up in the UP, and just beautiful white boy. I just call him Snow White.
I love the eyes on that one. It really makes that picture pop with the blue sky, that light, beautiful blue sky, and those eyes and the white. Everything just pops really great in this picture. And I saw this, I was also, wow.
It was definitely a great day. You could see these. I think at one point, I had 12 of them in my view, and these bright white like this against that sky. You can just see them, quite a distance. Coming out of the hospital the other day, or by the hospital, I saw a bright white, and I thought it was the smallest male snowy owl I'd ever seen. And I turned around and I went back, and from quite a distance, I had my 600 millimeter, and I looked through the lens, and I thought, that's not a snowy, what on earth? So I drove back, and it turned out it was a white dove. And my sister sent me a message today, because I called her and I said, we don't have, where are we getting the white dove? And it turns out it's most likely been one of these doves that people release. What stood out, the point being, is that it was with the sky like this. That thing stood out from a mile away. You could just see that white on that sky. So
this is the perfect sky for hunting snowy owls with your camera, not a gun.
That's true.
All right. Up next, we have Stephen Engel. I probably said your name wrong because that's how I do it with you, sir. Would you like to tell us a little bit about this beautiful image? If you're talking, you're muted, sir.
There we go. I did this because of the reflection. And it was just one of those mornings where we had a light dusting of snow. And I had this in a competition last year, and I showed it in the showcase last year. And I put this one in here this year is because of the next picture that I posted of the same area with no snow.
And of course, that's going to be a little bit later on. I staggered everything a little bit.
Correct.
How much did you crop in on this when you edited it?
I didn't crop anything with Photoshop. This is done with my 150 to 600 millimeter lens.
Okay.
And I'm standing up on a hill in campgrounds at Guernsey Lake. And I'm shooting through a hole in the trees.
Oh, okay. Awesome capture. I love this. I've seen it before from you, and I really enjoy this shot. It's very nicely done. Thank you for sharing with us. And if you can mute, we'll go to Mr. Mark Cram. And Mark, if you're talking, you're muted.
Yeah, he's still muted. He's still muted, Andy. You might want to let him know he needs to do something to unmute himself. Maybe you need to unmute him.
I'm trying. I hit the S to unmute. S to unmute. Maybe that'll work. Mark, I'm not sure if you can hear us or not. We can come back to you if we're having difficulties with the computer. Give me a thumbs up. You want me to move on, sir?
Yeah, he's
All
having
right.
technical difficulties.
These Zoom meetings are sometimes a little bit challenging and interesting to see people trying to talk, and it's like the silent movies, if you will. All right, we're moving on to Mr. Dale DeVries. Did I say your name right, Dale?
Yep, you got it.
Awesome.
So this is my favorite selfie from 2020. I felt the world needed this picture.
I know when I saw this one, it made me smile just a little bit.
This is
Quite a
a
bit.
big sunflower field in Montague, Michigan, just north of Muskegon. And they have a sign up there. The owner put a sign up, that he's welcoming people to take pictures of his sunflowers. And so there were probably about 10 cars along the road while I was there taking this picture. And as I put my hat and put my sunglasses on the sunflower, I could see all 10 cars laughing at me.
And then they
It
went
was just-
back later and did the same thing, I bet.
Yeah, I know. It's just a fun shot.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Yep.
Oh, my microphone's in the way. There we are. Patty Green.
Good evening. That's one of my roses out in my front yard.
Do you know any idea what your settings were on this? I like how soft this image looks.
I have no idea.
That's my answer whenever people ask me that question as well. I just love how soft this is and how it gently fades off into the background. It is a stunning picture, and I'm sure the rose is just as beautiful in person. I've had no success growing roses myself. Those little, I think they're aphids or whatever, attack them all as soon as they bloom. So
Yeah, that's a heirloom rose that was passed down to me by my brother that was my mother's originally.
oh wow. Well, thank you for sharing this one.
Thank you.
Mr. John Russell, are you with us this evening? John, you're muted, sir. Let me see if I can help you with this.
Hey,
There we
There
are.
you
We
go.
got you now,
there
sir.
you go. I got it. This first shot of the infamous comet Neowise. I read online about this, and the astronomers around the world saying this is a boring comet. I found it probably the most spectacular comet I've ever seen. I've seen probably 8 or 9 of them. Naked eye visibility. This is a tree I've been looking at up by Alden, north of Alden, for years, trying to figure out how can I photograph this tree. And I thought that's a good night for it. We got northern lights, we got the comet, I've got a meteor. Spectacular night. I drove up there 1 o'clock in the morning, and there's a yard light across the road.
Oh,
And I
wow.
thought, oh, what do I do with this? Well, the first thing I did was I softened the color, warmed it up a little bit by changing the Kelvin temperature in the camera capture to 3,850 Kelvin, down from 5,500. That gave a little more color to the tree, which was washed out. This is an unedited photo. This is a straight frame. And there was a car coming up the road. My Jeep was parked over in the dark area on the left side on part of an old road that used to go by there. And their headlights illuminated.
It looks like you froze, Mr. Russell. Give you a couple of seconds, see if you can come back in. Another second. All right, I'm going to go ahead and scroll on past this one. We'll get back to you if you need, if you're able to reconnect. Mr. Presidente, I love this capture. Can you tell us a little bit about this and how you happened to be here when this happened?
It's a secret.
All right, great. We'll move on to the next one then. Just kidding, sir.
I've been photographing Fishtown for ever since we moved up here, and before even. I got some pictures before. Always loved Fishtown. The historic aspect of it, the activities, the people, the buildings. There's just so much to talk about and photograph there. As a matter of fact, I have a series of photos of different years and different times of the day, sunset, during daytime, various things. And I saw quite a few of those. So I've got a relationship with the Preservation Society. And we're set now that anytime they do any major activity like this, they give me a heads up the day before and tell me what time or whatever. So I'll be up there. This is the restoring, putting the Morris Shack back into its position. On the bottom there, you'll see the gentleman with the green vest. That's actually a photographer there. They put a platform in down there. You see all the pilings. They drove all those in so they could raise it up probably about a foot or so above what was before, because the water invaded the lower levels of it. And it was rotting away very quickly. So they restored the building itself. They dropped it back down on there. And then they'll continue to restore it back to its original condition. They want to maintain the antique look, if you will, the old building look. And just recently, the building to the right of that's called the Other Side. Very interesting name, but that's what they called it. And they removed that now, and I have videos and stuff like that. So I've been taking videos and stills and various things. And interesting thing about the Morris Shack, which is hanging there, is that when they removed it about a month prior to this, I went there and taking photos, and I got irritated because this other character was in there, name of Russell. I don't know who he was, but what he was doing, but he was there also taking pictures.
I'm sure he was. He seems to be everywhere.
You never know where he's going to show up. But no, he's a great guy. We love John. But that's the story here behind there, and it's a historical picture, really.
It is, and that goes back to what I was saying earlier about the pandemic and the recording of that, and us as photographers being able to us as photographers being able to capture some of these events as they happen, so people can look back on this and in the future and look back and go, that's what happened. Wow, I can't believe how much work was taken at that time too.
Yeah. You got to remember that these buildings are 100 years old. So,
all right, thank you, Jerry.
That's the end of my story.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing this one, sir. Dale, I think I got this one as yours. I'm not positive. I had two foxes and I got confused on which fox. I'm not talking Dave.
Yeah, this is my fox. This was one of the kits down at the Muskegon wastewater plant on the back side of the dump. And there were probably about 4 or 5 dens in the side of this hill, maybe about a quarter mile long. And it attracted quite a few people last spring. And so you could actually sit in your car, 30, 40 yards away, and with a big lens, get a picture like this, like you were standing right next to the kit. So they were fun to watch. I went there many days last spring, just sit in my car and sip on the hot chocolates and play music and photograph foxes.
What lens were you using for this one to get that detail and that close?
A 150, 600.
Okay, were you at 600 then for this?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Wow. That is amazing, the detail you were able to capture in that. Thank you for sharing this, sir.
That's a little bit of post-processing editing too.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Helen, amazing shot. Tell us about this one.
Well, this is my grandson, and I clearly photoshopped this. He wanted to have his picture taken, and he got the idea from his cousins the day before. So it's just 2 houses down. I've got woods all around me, and so we went down there, and he's very busy. So it was really hard to, I just decided I wasn't going to coach him because it was pretty much impossible. So I had a off-camera flash with me, and I just took lots of pictures of him just playing and having fun. And I had set up this spider web thing along the trees, and he's got, 2 fake crows in his hands there in the middle. And so when I got home, I was trying to decide what can I do with these, because I thought they were just kind of difficult alone, So I just, the one in the middle is the original and the background is original, but the other 2 on either side, I just, selected them and threw them in the woods with the other 2. And I'm going to actually, I made a calendar for my son, and this is on one of the pages for fall.
So can you see my mouse moving on the bottom left of the image?
Yep.
The kid on the left?
Yeah.
Is that leaf there?
It is, yes.
Wow.
Yes. Yep. Actually, I included part of the leaves around each one of, those 2 on the ends, because I wanted it to look, I knew, because it was pretty much, I was shooting at the same depth and everything. I knew that I was pretty good, probably going to be able to get that to look pretty realistic. So, yeah, that was already there. Yep. Mm-hmm.
This is an amazing job of Photoshop. I mean, it's a great job and a very creative idea on how to throw a bunch of different images together to highlight the day that you guys were having together, making this image.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed putting it together. It was fun.
And one of the things about doing a member showcase like this is we as photographers sometimes don't have the creative juices that other ones do. And we see this and we're going to ourselves, how can I recreate that? What little kid can I steal to do that? I mean, borrow to do this. No vans or anything involved in this. That would be wrong. But I love this. It's very creative, and I really appreciate you taking the time to share this one with us, because it got me thinking of some stuff to do with my niece and my granddaughter as she gets older.
Yeah, especially, kids when they're that age, they're sometimes just to capture what they're doing and not really, just let them do their thing and try to be in a place where you can watch it all. It works better sometimes when they're that age. He's 4, so.
Wow. Great job. Thank you again for sharing with us.
Thank you.
This really got my mind working now on some stuff I'm going to try to do.
Good.
All right. Up next, we have Mr. Milt Lewis. Milt, we've missed you, sir. Thanks for joining us. I was really excited to see you were submitting. If you want to go ahead and unmute yourself and tell us about where this is. I have a suspicion I know where this is, but I'm not positive.
Yeah, I'm glad I got to join you guys. I've been pretty busy. I just got laid off, so I got some free time now during the winter. This here is the Eben Ice Caves. I went up there in March and made the trek back there. It's quite a hike back there, but I was able to get this shot. We went early in the morning before anybody else got there, because I wanted to try to get a shot with no people, and we were able to capture that. And then went down into the caves and took some pictures inside. But first time I'd ever been there.
I was gonna head up there in February of 2020 and never made it. I was there the year before. And I wish looking at this, I had gone. You got some beautiful ice curtains there and you capture them beautifully. So
Yeah.
once again, I'm excited to see you with us again. We've missed your presence here at the club. And I'm really glad you shared this with me because it's got me thinking I need to head back up to Eben or however you say that again to see these ice caves. This is just a beautiful place to be.
Yeah, I think it's called Eben, but who knows?
Exactly. But thank you, sir. On to
Now-
the next one. Jerry, we're back to you, Mr. El Presidente.
Okay, I think everybody probably knows where this is at, this sleeping bear. I'll tell you what, if all things with the COVID and everything else going on for 2020, we had one terrific fall. Hopefully all of you got the chance to get out there and take photos, but it not only came for 2 weeks and gone, it stayed and stayed and stayed. And the leaves would continuously change colors a little bit, but boy, oh boy, it was just unbelievable. So this is one of my visits to Sleeping Bear. I have certain spots up there which I like to shoot. This is kind of neat because the road kind of curves and it goes up and disappears to who knows where, but most of us know where. But anyway, it's
This
just
looks kind
the
of familiar.
colors.
Is this what's behind you?
Sorry,
Is this what's behind you right now?
it's supposed to be. Oh yeah, that's the one. Yeah, yeah, back here. Yeah, yeah. You're right. I just love that picture because the contrast and the colors are so great. I got other ones too, but I just love how the road runs here, and it just a kind of a neat thing.
It
And,
is a beautiful
I
shot.
did-
It just
when I
makes me
was there,
want
I
to
met,
go up that road right now.
Neil Weaver was there with Arboretta Hope. They were there at the same time, and so we kind of all shot the same image from a little bit different viewpoints, vantage points, but we were shooting. So I just love it. So anyway, hope everybody enjoys.
How fun it must have been to shoot with those two. I've hung out with them a couple of times, and they're just a hoot to be out and around.
They're very, very friendly, very good people.
Thank you for sharing again, Jerry. Alicia Erickson. There you are. I see you on here. This is an amazing shot. Please tell us a little bit about this one.
Hold on, my video's lagging. Which one is it?
It is the airplane.
Oh, that's my son. And we found this airplane costume at Home Goods, and he just fell in love with it. And he wears it around the house. It's all like it's like a big stuffed animal that you wear. And I have just a little backdrop set up in my basement. And so I photoshopped those clouds in. And this was just a lucky shot too, because he stopped for a second. And I totally forgot that he had the Band-Aid on his foot. But once a Band-Aid goes on, it can't come off.
I was going to mention
world
the
will
Band-Aid
end.
makes the shot. It's just a little extra that you wouldn't normally see, and people would be like, try to remove that, and I'm glad you didn't, because I saw that. I'm like, oh. Well, thank you for sharing.
Yeah,
I love this.
I have
This is-
another one of these.
Yep. Uh-oh.
We're trying to do a little like creative series since there's nowhere to go and nothing to do right
I
now.
hear you. All right, I messed up. Whose picture is this?
Okay, so this is mine, Steve
Oh,
L'Italian.
Steve.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you made it tonight. Thank you for reaching out to me. Now, please, if you will, tell us a little bit about this. We're excited to have you join us again.
Yeah. So for starters, and like I told Andy, and I'm sure there's a few of you that remember me. I've still been kind of active on the Facebook page for Traverse Camera Club, but it's been a couple years since I've actually been to a meeting. Last time I was there, shortly after the meeting a couple years ago, I broke my ankle and was had a couple surgeries and was out for quite a while. So that kind of killed that year. And then, of course, then following that, I live in Lake City area. So sometimes it's hard for me to get up your guys' way. And then shortly after that, COVID hit. So I was like, well, screw it. Let's try this Zoom meeting thing. So I decided to come back and rejoin the club. So glad to be here again. Other than that, this is actually a picture, an iPhone shot. This was done on the Rocky River, just east of Cleveland.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of times, me and my wife, we like to, after the fall colors are kind of starting to go away up here in northern Michigan, we will take a trip down to Ohio area to kind of, get a second, wave and do some hiking and camping or whatever. And so, yeah, we just happen to be in the spot, a nice little trail there, and look to me to be somewhat of a nice little pic with the paddle borders in the background and stuff. So yeah, kind of worked out.
That red really adds to that picture of those shorts. So I love how you captured this, and it's amazing what you can do now with the cell phones and how wow, I can't talk. What the quality of the images you're getting from those. So thank you for sharing, and welcome back. We really appreciate you coming back today.
Yeah, and I mean, this as far as editing goes, I mean, I think I just cropped this one just a teeny bit, and that was pretty much it. No, really not any adjustments at all. So I was pretty happy with the way it turned out.
I like it. So thank you for sharing. And once again, welcome back. We appreciate you joining us again.
Yeah.
Mr. Ragnar Avery. I probably screwed your last name up. I apologize.
That's funny. No problem. So I gave this the title when I submitted to you, Andy, is Santa Claus is Coming, because, that's facing up the north side of Elk Lake, and with it being the season it is, all those purples and crazy colors are just crazy. So last week we had an event where the aurora was really high, and so I went out I think it would have been Friday morning, which was Thursday evening, and it was overcast, but I wasn't going to let it not stop me. And so I get over to a spot just on the south side of Elk Lake, and I got all these clouds I'm dealing with, but the aurora was so strong, even with the clouds, it looked like a halo, like you get with the lights in a city. It was so strong, it was like a halo, because to the naked eye, the aurora just looks like gray mist, but it was super strong. So I did a test image, just handheld, and saw that I was getting color, and then set up and started working the composition. And this was about 4 a.m. Yeah, it was fun. It's a little different. It's not your normal aurora shot, but yeah, I loved it.
How much did you mess with the colors to get that purple, that color?
No, that was pretty much because you're shooting. I shot longer than I would normally with aurora. I got it up to about 20 seconds, and that purple just hung in there the whole time. The green was strong, and then that yellow, as you can see, was very strong. Matter of fact, I had to work real hard in Photoshop because it was overexposed. I had to downplay it. That's how strong it was at the 20-second exposure. Yeah.
Wow.
And then I did a little light painting with my iPhone to get just a little bit of color in those birches. Yep.
Great job. Thanks for sharing this one, Rex.
Okay.
John Russell, we're back to you, sir, since you joined us.
There we go. This was another shot of the comet. You can see a little bit of the blue, the second tail on the top of it. I had several people say, where did you go to shoot that? I said, in my backyard. I sat in a lawn chair in my backyard and photographed it. It was quite spectacular. This was a circumpolar comet, which means it never set. It rotated all the way around the northern sky, and in the morning you would see it over in the northeast. It was quite spectacular. the one person that was asking why I stayed in my yard commented, well, you could have gone anywhere. And I said, yeah, but when I'm in my backyard, I have a bathroom and a kitchen 50 feet from me. But it was quite spectacular. And I just thought I'd share those two because quite honestly, I forgot to send anything to Andy until what, noon today, Andy?
Something like that.
So
Plenty
I had
of time, John. Plenty of time. We got
plenty
this
of time,
settled for
yeah.
you.
I crabbed about that for years. Everybody get them to me early, get them to me early. And here I am, the last one probably. But I wanted to share this with you. This was shot with a 400 millimeter lens at f4 for about 6 seconds.
Beautiful shot, sir. Thank you for sharing with us. And I love that how clear that tail is there. The second one.
I had trouble sleeping
didn't-
at night. It was odd knowing that the thing was out there floating around the sky and I wasn't photographing it, but it's kind of like a snowy owl. After a while, you got to go home.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that has that problem of staying up way later than I should, trying to capture something because it's there.
This is a once in a lifetime comet. And I hope everybody in the club got out and if you didn't photograph it, you at least viewed it because my shots of Comet Hale-Bopp and Halley's Comet and everything else were not nearly anything like this. And it was quite a thrill for me to be able to be a part of it.
Thank you. Okay, here's the other fox. We finally get to hear from Amy. Amy, you're muted.
Hold on.
There we are. I got you. Now you muted again.
Oh, okay.
Now
There
you're
we
good.
go.
Don't touch it. I got it.
Okay. This was one of my favorite things this year. This was close to my home and it was a little family and two of the other baby foxes died and the mother, I saw her once and this little guy was a real hunter. And I had so much fun watching him. And it just kind of took up a lot of my summer and I loved it. It was absolutely fabulous.
I love this shot. It looks like he's getting ready to pounce on something he's looking so intently at. So I appreciate you sharing this one as well. The baby foxes, I'm like, I want to see one someday in the wild.
Yeah, it was the first time I ever shot a baby fox. So I was thrilled.
And now you and Dale both got me wanting to even more. I'm gonna have to stalk Dale down at the sewage treatment plant. And see
Yeah,
what
there you go.
shooting all these things. Oh no, another one I forgot to label. Is this yours too, Steve?
Oh, yeah. I wasn't expecting that coming back up so quick.
I like to keep you on your toes.
Yeah, I guess. Anyway, so yeah, so this is a just a awesome barn that I had come across over but on US 10, kind of between Everett and Farwell area. So this shot was done actually with my old Canon A1 film camera. So that was part of the cool thing about that. But even better than that, one of my workmates had come across some old expired film that he had sitting around in his basement for 19 years.
Wow.
And he was like, hey, do you want this film? I'm like, sure. Heck yeah, because apparently that's some kind of a trend or something, or I guess people are actually looking for expired film to buy, and they get actually pretty decent money for, I guess, on eBay and stuff like that. So I loaded up, not really expecting much or not really sure how that was going to work out. Did some reading up on how to correct for how old the film is. You need to kind of increase or decrease the ISO. I can't remember off the top of my head because it's not quite as sensitive as it used to be. So this pic came out, you know, and I love the grain that the film, you know, film gives you some nice grain depending on what ASA film it is, but the expired film is definitely even more grainier. Contrast is definitely a little different, color. So, you know, color wise, didn't really do anything at all with it. Did crop it down a little bit. Now the problem is I did have to do some perspective correction with it. And once I did the perspective correction, I actually had to lengthen vertically the image in Photoshop because it kind of squished it down a little bit once I got done with the perspective correction. But as far as you know, color and grain, you know, that basically is untouched other than, you know, the perspective correction. So
awesome. Thank you for sharing this one. And next time I'll try to get your name on it because, well, I will. Hey, look, I got Steven's name on this one. Mr. Engel, one more time, sir.
So this is the second picture of that same area where the snow was. And I took it from the same spot, same lens. And you can tell by the white birch that it's the same spot. And it's a good place to get there just at daybreak and sunrise to get pictures of this reflection.
I think didn't you have this one in the reflections, or is this?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Well, no, actually not this one per se. It was another one where you could see the water surface. So it looked a little more painterly in the water.
Okay, I just remember that grass looking so soft. And of course, somebody else had much better words than much better vocabulary than I to describe the effervescence of the whatever, whatever. Once again, thank you, sir. Alicia, we're back to you.
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay. I was able to go over to the botanical gardens this fall with another photographer and just play around with, like, you know, no pressure of a paying client or anything. So we took a lot of great shots, and I had rented the Nikon Z6, and this was while I was using that. And of course, mostly that made me jealous of the camera that I had to send back.
All right, awesome job. Thank you for sharing this with us. Patty Green, love that color in those trees.
Thank you. This was taken a night that we met Rags down at Rug Pond. And we were going from Rug Pond over to Seven Bridges. And on my way, I looked at the hill and the hill was just lit up. So I pulled off, handheld, and captured it.
Beautiful job. Sometimes the ones you get are the ones you weren't expecting. And if you're not there, you're not going to get the shot, I always say. And I think someone in this club told me that, and it stuck with me. And this is a great example of you got to be out shooting to get the picture, and you got to be paying attention. And great job paying attention, and even a better, amazing picture. I love how the trees just look like they're on fire.
Thank you.
Big shout out, Patty. This is even better than I remember.
Lynn, I'm not going to try to say your last name. I'm sorry.
Well, that's because you got a couple extra letters and quite a few extra letters in there. The last name is Lombard.
I went off of what was on the email.
Well, yes, my email is LA Lombard, but
anyways, there you are, and we appreciate you being here.
Thank you. So this is Dale DeVries's friend's lavender farm, and she was kind enough to invite us back out. Anybody wanted to come this year, and so I had a good time playing with it, and just happened to have my lens ball in my bag and decided to pull it out and see what I could do, and just love the perspective.
So did you rotate this picture upside down with the lens ball?
Absolutely.
Okay, because it does, the lens ball takes it 180 outside, flips it, right?
Correct.
Okay.
But I did flip it back up. I thought it
All
was
right.
better than having you all try to stand on your heads to see it.
It would be kind of funny to watch people on the Zoom calls all turning their head. But I like this. I'm not a big fan of the lens balls, but I've seen a few shots that I really like, and this is one of them. It works with what you've got. It shows the, you get some of the curvatures and stuff. Sometimes the lens ball shots just look, what's that, cliche, and this one looks great. So thanks for sharing it.
Thank you.
Oh no, another one I forgot a label. Does anyone recognize this picture?
It's mine.
Yay,
It's
Helen.
So this is just a spur of the moment shot. If any of you guys have seen me on Facebook posting pictures of my frogs, this is at my pond, and I had a record year of frogs. I usually only have about 13 or so. And actually, as much as last week, we were pulling out frogs. I don't know, we have over 100 that we've taken out of the pond this year. So these guys just happen to be kind of all lined up on the rocks around and you don't see them do that so many at a time, usually so close together. So I ran inside and grabbed my camera, and that's the story behind it.
Great job. Once again, thank you for sharing. I saw this. I'm like, oh, look, leapfrog.
Yeah.
With these two down here.
Crazy number of frogs.
Great capture too. I've never seen them lined up like that. Ready, just looks like they're looking at you, smiling, ready to get their picture taken.
Well, when I garden, a lot of times when I'm weeding around the pond, they kind of follow me because the bugs, get dug up while I'm doing that. And it's kind of funny. They'll get really close.
Awesome. All right. Milt, we're back to you, sir.
Okay. Yeah, this shot here actually was just taken this last Monday. I got a new lens. I've had a 150-600 and I went and bought the 60-600, but this picture was not taken with that lens. I had my other lens with me. I've always took the picture of the statue in the bridge, and I've never done the bell, and I was standing there, and all of a sudden I looked, I thought, geez, all three of them are kind of just about the right position, so I took it. And I have gotten lately here where I like black and white, and so I decided to switch this to black and white. It on my screen, it doesn't look as dark around the edges as the original, but it's just something I can never go across that bridge without getting pictures from one way or the other. And actually, the reason I went up there was I went to St. Ignace and took a shot of the bridge head on with that new lens. And I don't know if anybody's seen it on Facebook, but you could actually see the bridge because of the high winds. You can actually see the lines where the bridge has moved over a little bit.
Wow. Well, awesome job, and thanks for sharing this one too. And once again, it's great to see you back at the club. We did miss you.
Oh, not a problem. It's good to be back.
Hey, Dale, what are you doing taking pictures that aren't nature?
There's probably some frogs in here or something. I don't know. This was taken last February. I went down to visit my daughter in Chicago, and just a 20-30 second time exposure. You can see the plane. A plane, went through over downtown there, and the famous Marina Towers, those round buildings, Trump Towers right around the corner there. So I just love taking night shots downtown Chicago.
I'm gonna have to head down to Chicago sometime and get some night shots. This one's got me inspired too. I've seen quite a few things. I'm like, I got to go see if I can make a picture, create a picture like this.
Hmm, that's
I
fun.
do love the shot, the depth and the clarity all the way. It's a great shot. I was shocked when I saw it that you had something that wasn't nature and bird and animal related. So it kind of threw me for a second that you were submitting this.
There's a bald eagle in here somewhere.
Probably. John Gill. There you are, sir. You're muted. Let me see if I can help you with that. Ask to unmute. Nope, we're still not hearing you, sir.
How about now?
There we are.
All right. Yeah, jump screens here for some reason. These are Chinook salmon. We, my wife and I worked for the Yakima Indian tribe at a hatchery a few years back, and these little guys are about 18 months old. I've got a underwater case for my camera, so I just popped it down in the trough where they're kept for about a year, and there's about 50,000 fish in each one of these
wow
troughs, and there's 18 of them. And then they grow them to they're in these troughs for about a year. They have similar troughs out at a release point, and at 3 different release points, and they let them go, and 2 years later they come back and they're 12 pounds.
Wow.
And they become the next, they're milked for their eggs, and they become the next generation. So,
kind of the circle of life you captured.
Pardon?
You captured the circle of life early on, or is this late on? It's hard to tell. It's a circle that keeps going.
Yeah, there was really an interesting period of time for us.
Well, thank you, John, for sharing this. I've never seen the little baby Chinook salmon. I've seen them on my plate. I've seen them on the end of my pole, but I haven't seen the little baby ones before they went in to grow big for me to catch later on.
Yeah, these guys are about probably 4 inches at this point.
Awesome. Uh-oh, there you are again, Helen. We're just going to skip this one. I did have your name on that. Hey, this is mine. This was one of those images I captured up on the extended tripod tour that they do up at the Commons. If you've never had the opportunity to take that, it is an amazing opportunity. It's only $100. And it's, I think, 5 hours you get to spend in the buildings. They don't talk to you a lot about the buildings because they want to get out of your way and they want to let you take pictures. You're allowed to go in a lot of places that you can't go typically on the other tours. You can bring your tripods in, you can stand around, you can take a lot of pictures. And if you look carefully, you can find some props. And on this one, I turned the picture black and white, with the exception of the blue chair, because I thought that really popped. And it just was something I wanted to play around with, and it turned out, I think, pretty cool. And I thought it'd be fun to share this and once again talk about how awesome that tripod tour is. I know Rags has been on it. I can't remember who else. There's someone else from the club was on it with me. Looks like Jerry was on it, but there's quite a few of us that have done it. And if you want to get some cool pictures of the state hospital grounds, and more importantly, in some of the buildings and places you can't normally go, that tour is a great time to do it. They only do it 4 times a year. Scrolling on to the next person, Miss Samantha.
Hey, that's me. Sorry, we're wrapping Christmas presents.
What do you get me?
Everything. You want a Star Wars sword?
Cool.
So this is called Peeking Through. This is, my husband just laughed at that. This is an iris. We actually, when we moved into the house that we're currently living in, or our house, we discovered that in our backyard, back in the weeds, there's a bunch of irises that grow up every year. I don't know how they got back there, but irises are one of my favorite flowers. They're just so pretty. I've been around them for forever. I've been photographing them for forever. In fact, my first picture was of an iris. So I just love the symmetry of them. And this actually, the way that it kind of looks foggy in the bokeh is actually, there was a bunch of weeds and grass between me and the iris, but I was able to manipulate the picture enough to make it look like there was nothing there. So I'm actually super proud of this picture. And this was the first picture I took with my 100mm macro lens.
Awesome shot. I love this shot. This grass here does look pretty cool how it's captured. Mr. Gill, you go from the sea to the air. You're all over the place like Dale was today.
Yeah, this is a really old shot. I think that took this is one of the first digital images I think I ever took. My first digital camera. And it was down near Kalamazoo. And I was just out one day and found this guy crop dusting this field. And he's going back and forth left to right. And then all of a sudden turned and came right at me. I think he might have seen me and was giving me a thrill or something.
I do like how there's a little bit of motion here in the prop. You got that shutter speed just perfect to capture just a little bit of motion, but still not blur them out too bad. Someday I'll get one like that.
Jump to the left a little bit to avoid getting dusted. But other than that.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that one as well. I love the red canoe rags.
Yeah, let's pay homage to Parano Rose because he inspired me to use that as part of my prop with my night photography. So this was part of a study I did the whole summer long with the COVID shutdown. I opted to really look in my backyard. So I live on a wetlands lake, and so every cycle of the new moon or no moon, I went through and would go and capture the Milky Way as a time lapse, a 400 shot time lapse. I got a interval timer so I didn't have to go out there all night, but I'd have to set up really my focus and my composition during the daylight time. And then I would go out there and start the time lapse, usually during the summer or, spring, summer, because it went all from basically March, April through September. Start around 9-10 o'clock at night, and it'd go through and it'd finish up on its own around 2 in the morning. And then I'd process them as I look at the single image, and then I'd do a time lapse. But this one was interesting because this was the Lyrids, and there was probably just a little bit of fog on my lens. Well, I'm not sure if it's fog on the lens. It's a little confusing to me. But sometimes the meteors will burst as they go through. They'll have a little flash because I caught an image similar to this last year, and it was just a burst. There was no fog or anything on my lens. And then you have Jupiter, which is the star to the east, and then you have Mars and Venus rising, and that was a celestial event that was occurring. And so I just love this image just because it has that feel. And then, of course, with the Christmas season, you got a star rising in the east, right? So pretty cool.
Thank you for sharing this one. I love that shot. And it is a Paul shot, isn't it, of that canoe? Jay Peterson. I see you trying to unmute, Jay, but we can't hear you, sir.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah. So this is one of my favorite structures over the years. It's the railroad bridge at Sault Ste. Marie. And I titled this In Control Since 1877 because amazingly, this bridge was built that long ago. And as far as I can see, it's still operating, not very much. Maybe they use it more in the winter when there isn't as much boat traffic. But anyway, so that's where it is.
Now that you say that, where this is, I can kind of see this. It was too close for me to put it together to being up at by the locks there, right? Just to the west.
Yeah, just north of the, north of the locks themselves on the St. Mary's. It's actually right next to the International Bridge.
Yep.
It's right there. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. I'm like, I know this, but I couldn't figure out why. Thank you for sharing that. And more importantly, thank you for telling me what it is so I don't have to worry. So it's not racking in my brain for a while.
You're welcome.
All right, this is one of my shots. I just drew a blank on the name of the waterfall. Who can tell me which waterfall this is?
Wagner.
That's what I was going to say. I thought it was Wagner.
Wagner.
I absolutely love this waterfall because you don't have to walk very far to get it, and it's a beautiful falls. I've been trying to get the shutter speed right forever on capturing waterfalls, and of course it depends on how much water's coming across and what year or what time of year, what the lighting's like. And finally, I got one that I just absolutely love, the milky water, but not so much blur that you lose that it's water. This is probably one of my favorite captures of Wagner Falls, and I've been there quite a bit, and I've got some pretty cool shots, but I just love how this one turned out. Now I just got to try to find out what I did for shutter speed again. Mr. Mark Cram, have we figured out our computer, sir, or should we skip you? Not hearing you. See if you can click on the win. There we go. You're unmuted now, I think.
Can you hear me?
There you go.
Hey, how's everyone? Anyways, this was taken last Sunday after that snowstorm, and this is out by Mud Lake area. And I just had my cell phone, so I pretty much laid down on the ground with my phone and captured this shot. So I really liked how I got this angle.
This is a great shot, sir. I love that the way the trees look and how you capture it. And you did that with a cell phone. Once again, goes to show the power that we have with that cell phone, that camera that we carry. Most of us carry everywhere we go. Great job.
Thank you.
I'm going to come back to you at the end. Go back to that other image you got, so I don't get lost in my place and have you go over your. I think it was your tractor you sent in.
Yeah, it was.
All right, moving on to the next one. Lynn.
Well, the name's getting a little closer.
Someday I'll get it right, and then we'll, celebrate.
So I was actually headed somewhere else to go shoot, and early morning, and was headed from home. I live on the east side of town, and happened to look out right by the state park and saw these gentlemen fishing, and I just loved how the fog settled in and gave me just that, isolated, but also got a little reflection going. So
you can kind of see, I'm assuming that's the peninsula there.
Peninsula, correct.
I love how it's kind of there, but not really. And you can't tell if it's a cloud bank rolling in or if it's land. I saw this and I'm like, wow, that's a cool shot.
It was a cool morning.
Mary, I think this is a very appropriate picture for this time of year.
I think.
I think it might be.
Well, this is a good friend of mine, Jim Jordan, out of Traverse City, and my kids know him as the real Santa Claus. My grandkids know him as the real Santa Claus. He's just a remarkable guy. This year, he's actually, I think it's Emerson that's in front of him in this particular one, but I go where he goes in the wintertime. He's just a real, he loves what he does, and you can see it in his face. And
it looks like he's sponsored by Carhartt.
at least the suspenders, huh?
That just goes to show the detail you're able to capture in there. A lot of times that would be blurred out or would be overexposed with the light in there.
This has probably got a lot of post processing because this is in a grocery store, this particular one. And I'm standing quite a ways back and shooting in between people's heads and little kids all over. And so there was, a lot of work probably to get the color even, get it up to the right spot here without having to use a big light or something,
Gotcha. Great job on that one. Thank you for sharing this one too.
Thanks.
This was going to be my last one, but I got an email and I got Mark Cram to go to. I thought this was perfect. Perfect way to end out our member showcase. The message here is amazing. Amy, I believe this is yours.
Yes. Am I
Please.
muted?
We can hear you. Please go ahead and tell us a
okay.
little bit about why you chose this one.
It's the message. And we were doing our Christmas walk with John Russell, and it was just the message. And I thought it was just perfect. So that's what I wanted to share.
And I was going to make this the last one, but we got to go back to Mark Cram. I'm not going to stop screen share after I go to Mark Cram. I'm going to go through my email because I got an email message that somebody didn't get my message at the right time. I have 2 more images to share.
Oh.
I'm going to try to pull those up. While I'm doing that, after I go through Mark Cram's picture, I'm going to let any of the other board members who want to talk about their programs or give any notification, discuss that at that time. But right now, I'm going to try to find Mark's picture. Don't get dizzy. No one have a seat. Oop, there it was. There it is. Mark, tell us about
Okay.
this picture, please, sir.
Can you hear me again?
I got you.
Yep.
All right. This one was taken, gosh, I want to say I took this about a week ago. I took a break in the afternoon from my job, and I just had to get out and go for a ride. And it was out somewhere in Benson County on a side road. I'm like, that's pretty cool. So I tried getting down low.
One up.
The only thing I wasn't too sure on was the straw up in front of it, but I just left it with the way it was and decided to turn it into black and white. Kind of like that perspective.
I saw this one. I'm like, wow, that is a great job, Mark. You obviously worked this a little bit because it's not the standard standing up, what a lot of people would capture. Just standing up and taking it at regular level. You can tell you're a little bit lower and you're working this image a little bit more. And I love how this turned out. I love how you left a little bit more space up front even. So it kind of looks like the tractor was trying to go and you wanted to give it room to move in case while you were taking the shot. Maybe that wasn't intentional, but that's how I took it.
Tried not to tweak it too much, but I did some vignetting around the corners just to kind of focus on it more. So kind of pretty happy with it.
It looks great. I appreciate you sharing this one as well.
Thank you.
And John says the shadows are great and adds detail and interest. I think that's to this picture because I see that.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to stop my screen sharing now. Bam.
So Andy, I'll go ahead and make the announcement for the critique night. So the critique night in January, which will be the first Monday in January, will be street scenes. And that's pretty exciting because when you think about the opportunities we have right now, or if you have gone down and shot like Traverse City when the front street was closed down, hopefully you've got something in your files that you want to share with us during critique night. It's been a great year actually for doing street scenes because it's been just a little different than the big stuff. So I'd encourage you that. And that really leads into, just as a reminder, the January group meeting. Andy has Chris Roxbury, who's going to be doing underwater photography. So we've got a great month in January of some great stuff for everybody. And then also the discussion group, Jay Peterson, if you want to talk about that, I believe you're still on, right, Jay? So.
Jay, you're muted, sir. I'm trying to help you, but I can't.
Oh,
There we go.
okay. Okay, so now I'm unmuted.
Correct.
Okay, good. I'll try again. Yeah, so the discussion group in January, the 3rd Saturday morning, is going to be about video. More and more people have been taking video. I think the camera club is still pretty much 90% still photography, but there are some folks that are doing video and there are more folks that are interested in video because it's getting easier and easier to do it, of course, with your phone, among other things. So I've got a few volunteers to talk about various aspects of taking video with different devices and the ways to do some basic editing of video. So it should be an interesting show.
All right. Dave Fox, do you have anything to talk about as far as our hangings? Wait, we're not calling that anymore. What are we calling it, Dave? You're muted, sir. I can't help you.
Unmute,
There you
unmute.
are.
All right. Well, yeah, now I'm in charge of exhibits, displays. Yeah, everything's been postponed as far as the Bonneville exhibit we were hoping. But what I do want to announce is I would like any members that want to be part of a member showcase on the club website to please submit 2 images, 2 of your best images, what you would like people to see that represents your work. And you can send that to tackdisplays@gmail.com. I'll send out a blast probably tomorrow. I didn't want to confuse it with your showcase you were doing tonight. So
I had enough
yeah, I'm looking
confusion
forward.
with the email.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing people. I know some of them, don't have websites, or maybe aren't posting that much on Facebook, but they would like to showcase their work, and we'd love to showcase their work. And a lot of our, our members are doing some amazing work. It's just incredible. So please think about what you want to submit, and we're going to do a showcase, and then we will rotate them every 6 months. If people want them rotated and put in new ones, or we can leave up the ones you originally submitted. So it'll be up to the folks. We'll put out a call, and then they can submit new work if they want it. So we want to get more of the members' work up on the website.
So Dave, this is a project that you and Samantha have been working on to create a special section on our website, correct, for Member Showcase?
Yeah, but everything got a little convoluted. And so as it turns out, I decided I'll just wait. And I was thinking I'd be busy with a Bonneville. But that all got held up with a new lockdown. So we're going to put our focus now on the member showcase for the website.
Awesome. Rags, you got something else you'd like to add, sir?
Yeah, thank you, Andy. So, the other thing with Dave's announcement that I thought would be good for the people here at the group meeting to know about is that the Traverse Area Camera Club YouTube page is active. And then what we're doing is we're taking and recording events just like tonight's event. So if you miss an event and you want to see it, like a critique night, hopefully discussion groups down in the future, group meetings, we're recording them using Zoom, putting them up on YouTube, and then Samantha is then posting them on our website. So as a member, not only can you attend the live event, but if you missed it and you're interested in the topic, you can go back and look at it on our webpage. So I think that's a great add, and really came out of our COVID situation. So I think it really gives everybody another chance to see a lot of good content. Thank you.
Thank you, Rags. Is there any other board member or anyone who's got a program or announcement related to the club that they'd like to discuss? Please raise your hand so I can acknowledge you. I am not seeing anyone else. Amy, you don't want to talk about anything happening downtown at some point? Thank you, Amy. Please.
After the holidays, we'll get some group shoots going, and anybody that wants to join us safely, safe distances and that sort of thing, we'll get some going, and I'll post them on Facebook.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I am going to go ahead and I'm going to go back to screen share. I'm going to share. I've got 2 more images. I got an email from 2 members. One was Mary Ellen Sullivan, which has some images included with it. And I got another one from Marilyn. Oh God, I'm going to screw this up, and my dad's going to be mad at me because he knows her. Anyways, Marilyn, and she did not include images on that second email. But Mary Ellen did. So I'm going to go ahead and screen share those 2 images that Mary Ellen shared because I found it in my email. And I need to push this button here and that button there. And I need to push that there. Did that come up?
Yes.
All right. Mary Ellen, are you here and able to tell us about this image? And I will try to get to the other one.
I'm here.
Awesome.
This is Montana Darrow State Park, right by Los Osos. I used to live in Los Osos. I can't tell you how wonderful it is to see everybody and their faces. I'm missing Traverse City. Some of you know why I'm here. I won't go into that. But anyhow, it's Merry Christmas to everybody. But this is that was a foggy day, and I figured I might as well make fog my friend, since in the summertime people think it's sunny California, but where I live, I'm right at the coast and there's a lot of fog. So this is one of those days.
All right, and I got one more from you, and I'm going to see if I just got another email that has the images included from Maryland, so I'm going to see if I can get those up too, because it's my fault I sent out the bad email information in the email blast. So Mary Ellen, please tell us about this lovely shot. I love that fog.
This is the inlet by where I live, and it goes out into the bay, Morro Bay. And morning, walking my dog Billy, and had my camera with me. Had gotten a new camera back in August, and fog has been my friend.
Now, did you submit a picture from this location with these boats, the canoes or whatever, sailboats at some point for the club?
Yes.
Okay.
There's lots of, everybody's got their paddle boards or canoes or kayaks. It's just full every little turn you take.
Yep,
And cranes and herons and yep. Usually that's where I go down to shoot at night for sunsets, but this is a morning one. But usually I'm looking the other way.
All right, everyone ignore the
5 minutes
emails
from the
I've
house.
got. Oh, where did it go? It's on my phone. There it is. That kind of comes through. Marilyn, are you with us?
I am. Can you hear me?
I can. Please tell us about this one. I'm sorry I don't have it any better than this. I apologize.
This is a double exposure taken in camera. And I was at Deno's Museum, so it was just a couple of pieces when I was there. I kind of like the balance and the color of it.
When I first
So yeah,
popped
it
this
didn't
open,
strike me the first time I went through my images, but when I went back through them, I thought, how did I miss that one?
when I saw this, I thought of, I'm drawing her blank, Carol Graylick and her abstract stuff she does. This kind of made me think of that. When it first popped up, like, wow, that's cool. I never would have guessed Denos. All right, and here's your other one you submitted.
That's just on the beach at Sleeping Bear Dunes. I live near Interlochen Corners, so I just go down Deadstream Road and then across 22 to Peterson Road, and I walk south to Platt. I can't quite get to Platt Point because water's too high, but every time I do it, the sand gets a little higher on this post, and I shot it at an angle that's actually upright and changed it to black and white.
That is a cool image. I like how you did that. Thank you for sharing. I'm glad you were persistent in getting your email messages to me, although I sent out the wrong stuff earlier. So thank you. And I apologize to anyone who did not get in tonight. This was the last image of the evening. I would like to hit stop share. Bam, there we go.